Welcome to your final review video for your T1 final for Algebra 3. In this video, we're doing 44, 45, 46, and 47. This one says, what is the number of real solutions? Now, before we go anywhere, to find our real solutions, we're going to find our discriminant. Remember, our formula for that is d equals b squared minus 4ac. And we have three cases here. Your first one is if d is positive, then you're going to have two real solutions. The second one is if d is 0, then you're going to have one real solution. And then the third one is if d is negative, you're going to have no real solutions. Now, if you're in my class, I can't speak for Ms. Schwann's, but I can speak for me. We talked about this one as two complex solutions. On your test, two complex, not an option. You need to pick the one that says no real solutions. All right, so if we're looking at 44, we are going to start by identifying A, B, and C. Notice that we already have 0 all by itself. That's great. If that's not the case, we need to get all of our things on one side. So for this one, I know A equals -1, because remember we have ax squared plus bx plus c. B equals 9, and c equals 7. And we're going to plug that all into b squared minus 4ac. Now, when we do that, my b value is 9. So I'm going to have 9 squared minus 4 times -1 times 7. When I do that, 9 squared gives me 81. And if I do 4 times -1, I get positive 4. Times 7 would be a 28. So we have plus 28. At this point, we have 80, 90, 109. And that is my discriminant. Now this was positive, so that means I have my first option here, which means I have two real solutions. So my final answer for this one would be two real solutions. I abbreviate solutions, but you know, that's that whole word there, not world. All right, your next one, number 45, we have 8x squared minus 11x equals -3. Again, we're going to plug it into the same formula, b squared minus 4ac. But in order to do that, I need to have all of the things on the same side. So I'm going to start by adding 3 to both sides. When I do that, we have 8x squared minus 11x plus 3 equals 0. We want to figure out what a, b, and c is going to be. A is 8 because it's in front of x squared. B is -11, and c is 3. And we're going to plug that all into our formula up here. When I do that, I have -11 squared minus 4 times 8 times 3. If I square -11, I get 121. One thing, make sure if you're putting this in a calculator, you put that in parentheses. If you don't, it'll mess up your negative signs. So please make sure you put your -11 in parentheses and then square it, or just do -11 times -11. On the other side, we're going to do -4 times 8 times 3. That will give me a -96. And then our last step is to subtract, so I have 121 minus 96, which will give me 25. Again, this is a positive number, so that means I'm going to have two real solutions. And that's your final answer. All right, my next one, we have x squared equals -7x plus 7. Again, we need everything on one side, so we're going to subtract x squared from both sides. If you wanted to move your -7x and your 7, that works too. So we have 0 equals -x squared minus 7x plus 7. Again, we are plugging everything into b squared minus 4ac. But we need to start out by figuring out a, b, and c. So I know a is going to be -1, b is -7, and c is 7. We're going to plug it into our equation, so we have b squared, so we have -7 squared minus 4 times -1 times 7. Now if I square -7, I get 49. And then if I do -4 times a -1, I get a +4 times 7, which gives me a 28. So we have 49 plus 28. If I do 49 plus 28, then I get 77. And that will be my final answer. Again, this tells me that I have 2 real solutions. I really wish somehow we were getting one that didn't have 2 real solutions, but so far we don't. All right, we have our last one. We have 47, which is negative 4x squared minus 4 equals 8x. We are going to go ahead and start by subtracting 8x from both sides because, again, we want to move everything to the same side. So we'd have negative 4x squared minus 8x minus 4 equals 0. Again, we're eventually going to plug it all into b squared minus 4ac. But first we have to figure out a, which is negative 4, b is negative 8, and c is negative 4. Now if we plug everything in, we have negative 8 squared minus 4 times negative 4 times c, which is also negative 4. If we do that, we get 64 minus 4 times negative 4 times negative 4, which is going to be negative, I'm going to check, but I think it's 64. Yeah. When we do 64 minus 64, we get 0, which is our discriminant. Remember, 0 tells me that I have 1 real solution. And that is your final answer.